Hello, everyone.
Welcome to UBTA Television Live,
where the conversations are about you and I.
It is time to discourse, analyze, inform, educate, entertain, and change the narrative. Trends in Africa, changing the narrative.
Good morning and welcome to the program. UBTA Urban and Business Trends in Africa. I'd like to, thank you for, sticking it out with us on a day like this. And of course, we are just going to look at the US and the 2024 elections. And of course, Donald J. Trump, will be looming large in that election, even though, as I speak, he has been indicted. Donald Trump has been indicted, and nobody knows where that pendulum will swing. No one knows. Of course, in the US, a few days ago, Donald Trump was actually indicted, and in his speech during the indictment, he was actually indicted for about 34 felony counts. The former president Donald Trump railed against the Manhattan district and the indictment. It's the first time a former U.S. president will face a criminal charge. The charges stem from an investigation into the 2016 hush money payment to an adult film actress. Wow. Talk about a president sneaking out of the White House and doing all the stuff that he's been accused of. Prosecutors allege that the former president sought to undermine the integrity of the 2016 election and was part of an unlawful plan to suppress negative information. Trump appeared in a New York City court on Tuesday, where he heard the charges against him. Trump all said they will fight to get the charges dropped. I don't know how Trump will handle more than 30 indictments. I don't know. I don't know what kind of team of lawyers that the former president hopes to assemble to get him off the hook when it comes to these criminal charges, because it looks like he has come to his albatross moment, politically speaking. That is, it has never been done in the history of United States where a U.S. president, sitting president, and a former president will go into this kind of political and legal Waterloo. So a lot of Nigerians that we have spoken to during the course of this program has looked at it from it's like dead end, according to what a lot of our friends have said to us. Dead end in the sense that you cannot handle the US presidency, either now or former or futuristics, and at the end of the day, this is what is coming out of that. This is the outcome of your presidency, and he's also looking at, pushing for the 2024 elections, and that is yet another big test and a big, huge Waterloo that he's going to, face going forward as a potential second-time U.S. President. Now, looking at it from this angle, looking at what Trump does, the best way he can do it is that at the end of the day, there's no other way out of this road. The way Trump has placed himself, he has put himself in an environment that he may never get out of it. I'm talking about the 2024 presidential election that is thundering down as we're counting the days and months and weeks, and of course a year ahead and all that. So what we do know at this moment is that whatever happens, Trump is looking like he's going to, run for the elections. But is he going to have it easy with the legal process? Is he going to have it cheap on a platter of gold? Is he going to do what he knows how to do best? That is bamboozling Americans and doing all that he needs to do as a former U.S. president. If you look at the various pictures that came out during this indictment and all that, he was actually literally fighting everybody. His legal team, while he was seated there, he actually changed his one of his lawyers and all that. So many people are in doubt how Donald Trump can get out of this huge mess the way it is looking at it right now. The 2024 election is coming down the way nobody expected. Nobody actually expected that Donald Trump would be indicted. Nobody expected that a former sitting president of the United States will be having a whole lot of relationship with prostitutes and all that. And at the end of the day, he doesn't care. That's not his problem. His issue is that he needs to run for an election. Lots of people said, how else can he avoid going to prison if he fails to be U.S. president for the second time? And so at the end of the day, what are his options? His options are looking very, very, very thin. And also at the end of the day, what will America have as options? And is the world going to be? Is it possible that a former U.S. president that's been accused of so many crimes and all that will actually win a U.S. presidency for the second time? Is that how low-livered and how low America has actually come down to? I'm not looking at it positively. I am looking at it that Donald Trump, although he shows himself that he's a very, very serious, he's going to be a very serious candidate, but for me, running with my experience in the US, with my experience in the UK, with my experience outside this country, I'm not too sure the world leaders will take Donald J. Trump very, very seriously. And that is also what may count against him. And counting against him, or rather speaking in that light, how is he going to sit with leaders of the international community? How is he going to be trusted with that hot red button, that button that controls the world's most powerful nuclear weapon? Is America, is the entire world going to trust a man that nobody knows what he can do next 1 minute? It's just like trusting Putin with the nuclear weapons, and the world have seen exactly what everybody has always been afraid of. So I'm not too sure that trusting Donald J. Trump with that hot nuclear button will do the world any good. And this also shows that America may come down to the lowest ebb as a great nation that everybody looks at them as another. So if this actually happens, and that Donald J. Trump goes out to win an election, which is like, wow, having 2,000 cows running through the eyes of the needle. That is the way I'll be looking at it if this miracle actually happens again, that Donald J. Trump wins an election. And by the way, the electoral process, nobody is sure yet as to how the system will allow someone like that to run an election in the most powerful nation of the world. I'm not too sure that will sit well with the international community. That will not also, perhaps sit well with Americans. It will definitely not, sit well with, quite enlightened leaders across the world. So that will actually be a subject of ridicule if actually Donald J. Trump bamboozles himself into the presidency of the U.S. And so, what I see in this analysis is that U.S. definitely, if this happens, that means America will be a subject of international ridicule. That's the way I'm looking at it. And by the way, what will be the outcome? What will be the outcome of a moral crisis? A moral crisis that is already in court. A moral crisis that looks like the system, the American legal system may not allow him to actually be part of that election because of the moral crisis hanging around his neck. And so if this happens actually, that means the world will be in serious crisis, basically. And so maybe I should take a break. Then when I come back, we'll continue on this analysis.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ngozi Bell.
My name is Robert Opara.
And I'm excited to be part of this new programming that is called the Urban and Business Trends in Africa. UBTA will be featuring stories from all around this great continent. We'll talk about the issues. We'll talk about the opportunities. We'll talk about the trends. We'll talk about the successes. We'll talk about the failures too. We'll talk to the youth. We'll talk to women. We'll talk to industry leaders. We'll talk to government officials and everyone in between.
We're going to be looking at issues of business in Africa. We're going to be looking at investments that are coming into the African region.
UBTA will be concerned about the disenfranchised and the enfranchised. We'll talk to the global leaders who have done amazing things outside and learn from them on how they can do the same things within the continent.
Looking into the Africa that we know and the Africa that we also don't know.
So join us in February as we launch this amazing program, UBTA, coming to a TV station near you.
Welcome to UBTA Television Live,
where the conversations are about you and I.
Welcome back to this edition of UBTA. We are the indictment of Donald J. Trump. We are looking at the implications of what it will take for Donald Trump to be actually indicted in America, and the implications of what happens to the 2024 election process. How will this, pan out? How will this, actually be looked at the way it sounds, going forward as a nation? How can a system as robust as American system will allow an indicted felon to be the president of America? That will be the day, actually. And so at the end of the day, what comes out as the resultant effect of what may happen to Donald Trump, it shows that, like I said earlier, the morality of American political system will be called to question, and also handing over a reign of power and most likely reign of terror, being handed over to Donald J. Trump will show that America has nosedived into serious crisis. And of course, the international community, American citizens, will look at it. It also shows that America will go down very, very low when it comes to morality and all that stuff. So at the end of the day, what will this benefit Americans? How can America, survive this level of moral indictment and all that? It's unheard of having a president of America or president of a nation that has been torn into shreds in a law court and all that stuff. So how will nations trust U.S. all over again? How will the U.S. be trusted again when it comes to developmental issues, moral issues, international issues, and all that stuff? So how will America be viewed in the international community? How will America be viewed in handling international issues, trade affairs, developmental issues, and all that? Where will they stand within the Committee of Nations if actually that happens? So at the end of the day, I think that would be a serious crisis if America goes down this route and allows a felon to be president of America once again. And so where do we stand? Where will nations actually stand? Looking at looking at it from the way a whole lot of rogue nations will sing a song, negative songs against America, and at the end of the day, who will lose? Uh, America will lose. The entire world community will lose, and that's the way it may come down to ensuring that America may never, come back to being a great nation again if Donald Trump is actually allowed to run for the election and also win the election. That will be the hardest day within the international community. And so it's actually what happened in court. Of course, Donald Trump himself, tagged it a surreal day in the history of America. And so, as far as he's concerned, the crime does not fit the bill. So what are we going to be looking at going forward as going forward, looking at America slow dive into moral crisis and all that. If that happens, that means we are really, really, really in deep trouble around the world and all that. So my candid opinion is that I'm not too sure that the American system that I know of should allow Donald Trump to run for this election. I don't think that will augur well for Americans. I don't think that will augur well for the international community. I do not think it will augur well for what America stands for, which is a clear case of moral indictment on American society and American system. This is a nation that does things like no other. And so we cannot look at America and allow it to be ridiculed because Donald Trump just wants to evade justice. He wants to climb back into the presidency of the U.S. because that is the only way that can save him from going to jail. Because with all the indictment, close to 34 case of indictment, it will be difficult for him to get away with those indictments. So what does that mean for the nation of America? And if that is allowed, then it's going to be a hell of a system, coming out from the U.S. Now, looking at the court, process, would they also allow the system to let off Donald Trump either in one way or the other, and the system insists that he may not be guilty, or the judicial process sides with Donald Trump. If that happens, that means the system that we know about America will no longer be that same system. Maybe I need to take another short break, and I'll get back, back to the program.
Hello, everyone,
Welcome to UBTA Television Live.
where the conversations are about you and I.
Hi, my name is Okezle Bell, and I'm one of the leaders of the Urban and Business Trends in Africa program as a youth ambassador. As a young person whose innovations have spanned the disability and inclusion industries to sustainability to financially marginalized communities, I've seen the impact that we young people can have. I've hosted workshops around the globe reaching youth and individuals of color of over 65,000 people. And so because of this, I'm so excited to join the UBTA program because I think it's vital that we engage youth in some of these really important conversations regarding the social issues that rage rampant in our world today, from climate change to poverty to social justice. And by eliciting responses from these youth and engaging them in conversations, we are sure to build a better future. So I'm so excited to partner with UBTA to engage the youth of the African diaspora, and particularly the Nigerian subcontinent. As entrepreneurship and innovation continue to rise, we can create an impact.
Hello, everyone,
Welcome to UBTA Television Live.
where the conversations are about you and I.
Yes, you're welcome back on a day like this. And of course, like I was saying, there were two big things to fear before the Tuesday's momentous first criminal arraignment of any U.S. president or ex-president. The first was that while Manhattan, district Alvin Bragg's case might, cite solid evidence of alleged wrongdoing by Donald Trump, his legal theory might prove too vague, complex, and seem too like much of a throwback to a 7-year-old election to be an easy sell to the public. The other was that Trump would respond with such fury and incitement, he would reap even deeper divides in a nation estranged by his aberrant presidency and stroke new turmoil that could further damage vital political and judicial institutions. Both of those worst of all worlds scenarios came through on a day that Trump described as surreal in a social media post sent as he motorcaded to the court to turn himself in. The result is that another grim and even tragic chapter may lie ahead for a country that is still far from walking through the fallout from Trump's single term as it guides for yet another bitter election. And of course, if this happens, how will America survive a process as this? How will America get through a process that will endanger a multi-billion-dollar investment that is all about America? So following the indictment and arraignment by prosecutors said they expect to produce the bulk of discovery in the next 65 days. Trump's team have actually until August 8th to file any motion, or rather motions, and the prosecution will respond by September 19th. Judge Juan Merchan said he will rule on the motions at the next in-person hearing scheduled for December 4. Trump's attorney, Jim Trusty, said on Tuesday that he expects a robust motions to challenge the case and hopes they can succeed in stopping the case How in the world can Attorney Jim Trustee expects that the array of legal fireworks that will be firing above the head of Donald Trump by December 4th? How is he going to escape all the firefighting that will be channeled against him? How are they going to get him off the hook when he's been indicted with more than 30 counts? How is it possible that he's going to escape count 1, count 2, count 3, count 4, right up to 34 counts? How is it going to be? How what magic is he going to provide? What legal abracadabra or magic can Donald Trump bring out from his rabbit hat? The former president pleaded not guilty to the 34 felony criminal charges of falsifying business records in Manhattan Criminal Court Tuesday afternoon. Trump surrendered and was placed under arrest Tuesday before he was arraigned in a historic and unprecedented court appearance in which the former president had the charges against him for the very first time. While the arraignment was routine, the case is now poised to linger over 2024 candidacy as he fights the charges both in court and in public. Now, what the prosecutors are alleging is that prosecutors allege that Trump, sought to undermine the integrity of the 2016 election through a hush money scheme with payments made to two women who actually claimed they had extramarital affairs with Donald Trump. He has denied these allegations. These are normal from the rabbit heart of Donald Trump. Now, he was part of an unlawful plan to suppress negative information, including an illegal payment of $130,000 that was ordered by the defendant to suppress justice. Those that know Trump and his shenanigans, they know actually how he operates. They know how he functions. They know actually how he crashes into systems at will. And so Trump repeatedly and fraudulently falsified New York business records to conceal criminal conduct that hid damaging information from the voting public during the 2016 presidential election, according to the charge documents. Now, looking at Trump's Tuesday night rant, because that's the only way I can describe the speech that he delivered to his base. After the arraignment, Trump immediately flew back to Florida, where he held an event with his supporters, Tuesday evening at Mar-a-Lago Resort, center, where Trump made his public case against the indictment and previewed how he intends to fight against the charges politically as he runs again for the White House in 2024. Like I said, again and again and again, that would be a diamond miracle. That would be the miracle of the century if actually the system that I know of in the US will allow him to actually run again. By the way, while he was warned by Judge Joan Machan during Tuesday's arraignment not to make comments that could jeopardize the rule of law or create civil unrest. Donald Trump railed letter that evening against Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg and the judge himself. I never thought anything like this could happen in America. Really? Is Trump saying that this has never happened in America, or is Trump saying that with this arraignment, it is okay for him to do what he has always done in America? He said he never thought it could happen. The only crime that I have committed is to fearlessly defend our nation from those who seek to destroy it. Who are those that want to destroy America, for God's sake? Who are those that actually messing up America? Is it not Donald Trump's family, his children, and his rant network? He said it's an insult to our country. Really? It's an insult to US for you to be banned into jail, or rather is an insult for you to you, or an insult to the nation of America that have actually literally been destroyed in the 4 years of your presidency. Of course, the days to watch in this process of attempting to indict Donald Trump and actually put him away where he belongs, which is in a prison. Trump's team has actually until August 8th, to file any motions, and the prosecution will respond by September 19th. That is the way it's looking. That is the way it's going to be. And at the end of the day, there's no sign, there's no absolute sign of remorse that Donald Trump shows. He feels that what he has done, he feels that what he's doing to blackmail America, to also use a blanket to cover the faces of Americans, he feels that Americans will just dash him a glass of Coke and say, well done. I'd like to take another short break, and I'll be back to continue with this program.
Hi everyone, my name is Ngozi Bell.
My name is Robert Opara.
And I'm excited to be part of this new programming that is called the Urban and Business Trends in Africa. UBTA will be featuring stories from all around this great continent. We'll talk about the issues, we'll talk about the opportunities, we'll talk about the trends, we'll talk about the successes, we'll talk about the failures too. We'll talk to the youth, we'll talk to women, we'll talk to industry leaders, we'll talk to government officials, and everyone in between.
We're going to be looking at issues of business in Africa. We're going to be looking at investments that are coming into the African region.
UBTA will be concerned about the disenfranchised and the enfranchised. We'll talk to the global leaders who have done amazing things outside and learn from them on how they can do the same things within the continent.
Looking into the Africa that we know and the Africa that we also don't know.
So join us in February as we launch this amazing program, UBTA, coming to a TV station near you.
Welcome to UBTA Television Live,
where the conversations are about you and I.
Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to this program that's analyzing the good, the bad, the ugly of the Trump dynasty or Trump world, put it this way. The former president was upset after an emotional day. A source close to the former president tells, tells the international community, actually tells, the media world. Who wouldn't want to be with people that adore him after that? The source, said of former President Trump. Trump ended the day eating dinner on the patio of Mar-a-Lago Club, surrounded by club members, family, and some of his staunchest supporters on the Hill, including Matt Gaetz and Marjorie, Taylor Greene. Another source, told a whole lot of people. Following on uncharacteristics brief remarks after his arraignment, Trump was seen DJing from a laptop amid his supporters and at one point chatting with a far-right figure, Roger Stone. He never learns. Trump that I know would never learn. Chatting with a far-right, nitwit at this stage that he's supposed to be, saving his life and saving his political life and saving whatever is left of the Trump world, is railing against and eating and dining and drinking with far-right nitwits. And of course, he says it was a long day, for him. A long day that allows him to rant. A long day that allows him to do all that he needs to do and want to do and get away with murder. Like I said earlier, I think Donald Trump has gotten to his albatross because there are so many things you cannot do in a civilized world. Now, can you imagine that someone that is being indicted is on a motorcade and making his speeches and pushing different negative narratives against those that are taking him to court and all that stuff? Who does that? Who does a thing like this? It's an unprecedented way of handling moral issues and moral crisis. He has brought this onto himself. He has done this to himself. He has literally tarnished the image of America. Thank God for someone like Joe Biden. Joe Biden is consistent with high level of morality. He's not looking at whatever Trump is doing. Biden is stable and ready to go for a second term of America's presidency. He actually claimed on Tuesday, on the Tuesday's speech, that openly, taking boxes of documents and mostly clothing and other things, my home. Wow. It's something which President Obama has done. He continued. The Bushes have done. Jimmy Carter have done. Ronald Reagan has done. Everybody has done. Really? The first fact, he said this is false. As the National Archives Records Administration, NARA, itself pointed out in a statement last year, there is no evidence that previous presidents did anything like what Trump did after Presidential Records Act took effect in 1981. That is beginning from Ronald Reagan administration. In reality, NARA was granted custody of the presidential records of former President Reagan, Barack Obama, and both George Bushes as soon as office, as required by the Presidential Records Act. And it was NARA, not those presidents, that actually moved those documents to temporary archives facilities. NARA said in October statement, it gained physical and legal custody of Obama, Reagan, H.W. Bush, and W. Bush's records, as well as those of President Bill Clinton. When those presidents left office, he said of the temporary facilities to which the documents were moved, all such temporary facilities met strict archival and security standards and have been managed and staffed exclusively by NARA employees. Reports that indict, or rather indicate, imply that those presidential records were in the possession of the former presidents or the representatives from after they left office, or that records were housed in substandard conditions, are false and misleading. Well, Trump claimed that he actually claimed that the United States has an economy that has been crippled by the biggest inflation we have seen in more than 60 years. Really? Facts first. Trump's 60 years claim is an exaggeration, though the inflation rate does not remain by historical standards. Last June, the year-over-year inflation rate hit the highest level since late 1981, 19.1%. But about 41 years does not go round 60 years, much less more than 60 years. The actual highest year-over-year inflation rate for the last 60 years is 14.8% in early 1980, far higher than mid-2022 levels. More importantly, year-over-year inflation have now declined at the lowest level, hitting 6% in February 2023, not even close to the 1960 high. This also shows that Donald Trump is a liar by instinct. He's an instinctive liar, and such liar is not somebody that should have the opportunity to be keys of the most revered nation. Talking about the US and all that. So at the end of the day, what happens if Donald Trump gets this expected indictment? That shows Donald Trump will go to jail. And if he goes to jail, that means every single claim the prosecution have made, every single dime that he has siphoned outside America, out of America, all the stuff that his children, his sons and daughter have actually perpetrated in the history of America, they will come back to hunting, because that shows that somebody that have engineered a Lego Hamatan as this, that is now facing the Trump family, shouldn't be taken as with the two hands. And so on a program like this, I'm excited that I've had an opportunity to x-ray Donald Trump, and I have an opportunity to showcase what Donald Trump has done to America, and I've had an opportunity to look at the negative side of Trump's world. And at the end of the day, I'm expecting that US, by the way, I'm going to expect a whole lot of calls from the US Embassy on this program, because this is still the reign of sanity in America. I'm expecting that a program as this will also get a response, whether for right reasons or for wrong reasons. But the important thing is that America is a community that should not be handed over to hoodlums and handed over to people that don't understand what it takes to rule a nation. On this note, I want to thank all of us, and thank you for being out there, watching this program. Do not worry, UBTA will get better, and we'll get better, and we're going to get better. I'd like to thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning.
Hello, everyone,
Welcome to UBTA Television Live.
where the conversations are about you and I.